All right, welcome out to the Gridiron 64 podcast. Where today I've got Johnny Z and Big T here with me this Thursday evening. Tony, what's up?
What's up, man?
Johnny?
Doing good, doing good, doing good.
Right. It's just the three of us. The other two, Seth and TJ, are not here for this podcast as the three of us are here to break down the Rockport-Fulton Pirate Carrizo Springs game that was played this past Friday over in Poteet. And it was a great game. Rockport took the win 38-28 to advance to the second round, which will be played tomorrow in Wharton. We'll be playing Navasota. Should be a good game. And so we're going to break down with Johnny and Tony the Pirate game this past Friday. And it was a good game. I actually thought that we would win by a bigger margin. I didn't see Carrizo Springs from what I saw that they could do, that they could score at least 28 points. But, I'll break that down a little bit more and I'll get the inside of Tony and Johnny and see what they thought. But, guys, if you're ready, let's break down this game. And let's go ahead and start with Rockport's offense like we always do. And, Tony, I'll go to you first. Kind of give us your thoughts on what you saw Friday regarding Rockport's offense.
Yeah, I thought the offense did pretty good. I mean, they put some points up on the board. The offensive line looked pretty good. You know what I mean? Devin Phillips got real hot in the backfield. John got over 100 yards rushing, I believe. And then Ace, he got a few passes in there. You know what I mean? I would like to see the completion percent go up a little bit more on that. Kind of like they did in that Ingleside game. And I think that's the kind of offense they're gonna need to kind of to mix it up on Navasota's defense this week. But overall, I think the offense did pretty good. Like I said, it looked like they were firing on all cylinders. Very few mistakes as far as penalties are concerned, and bobbled balls. I think the offense looked pretty good. I mean, you score over 30 points, you're doing pretty good. So good job to the offense.
Johnny?
Yeah, I would have to say the offense did pretty good. The rush was there the whole time. I was very impressed by the fourth quarter. The whole lineman. I mean, we just like pounded that ball down, 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 killing that clock. I was getting so excited over the whole deal. Just the whole fourth quarter, just drive, drive, drive. They got back into that game at one time. So it was very. I really liked the way the offense just stuck together the entire game. There might have been a little panic in here and there. But our rush was there. I mean, it was there. It was 4 or 5 yards, 3 yards. That's all you need. You don't need to bust every play. That's not, that's not possible to bust every play. And that's what everybody's expecting. People say, oh, you got tackled for 4 yards. 4 yards is great. 4-yard carry, that is great. That's one thing you want to do is keep that ball away from that other team. Um, as far as the passing, man, I just he was, the quarterback was just off. He was underthrowing many people. There's games he's on, there's games he's off. But I think if he was on, leading the receivers downfield, I think this would have been a blowout, just like you were saying, Gabriel. But a lot of those completions weren't there. So if you think back, a lot of those throws were deep. They would have like continued those drives. We would have scored faster. But overall, I mean, I was very impressed with the offense. I mean, I really didn't see anything outstanding on the penalties. I'm not even sure if we fumbled the ball the entire game. I can't recall that right now. But overall, I was very impressed by the offense.
Yeah, I have to agree with the both of you guys. I thought that the offense was really good. 38 points is a good. It's a good offensive game. Rushing. I don't think we were never in any doubt that we would lose the game. John Chupi ran really hard. I think we used him more this game than I had seen him being used in the other game, pretty much. He was just getting 5, 6 yards pretty much every play. And then they would hit Ryan Wells in the middle, and he was picking up some yards. And then they'd go Devin. So I thought that the play calling on offense with the running was good. I think all three backs got involved. They were rolling. And I think that's what you need to do. You need to get these guys rolling. I think the offensive line pretty much dominated. They could basically get what they wanted. So, great performance by the Rockport offensive line, especially like you said in the fourth quarter, Johnny, where they just took over the game when it kind of tightened up just a little bit, and they kind of thought that they would come across and excuse me, when they thought they could come across, and Carrizo thought that they had a chance, and they came within 10 or so, you saw that Rockport line take over, which is what you want to see. They just started dominating and running the ball and running down that clock and getting those first downs. So I don't think Rockport was ever in any danger of losing the game. On the pass, I kind of like to see some shorter passes. I think we were trying to get too much. I think when we throw the ball, we get a big play, which is good, but we're not always going to get those. I like to see it come some shorter passes, some 5, 6 and outs. We don't always have to go for the big play. So we've seen it. We don't have uh, Caden right, but when you hit those little shots or something, those little 5 or 6 ends or whatever, those linebackers have to respect that. And even though you won't get those 20, 25 yard passes, those 6 or 7 yard passes really make a big difference. I like to see Rockport run a screen, man. I think with the way we run our offense, I think if there was a screen play thrown in there somewhere to one of these fast backs, whether it be John um, or Devin, man, I think they'd be big game, or possibly even a touchdown. So I like to see a screenplay thrown in there once or twice. I think the main thing on our offense as we move over to the second round and if we get into the later rounds is, sometimes I think Ace is going to have to kind of tuck that ball down when he's throwing. There ain't nothing there, and he's going to have to take off and run. Rockport's offense is basically 3 and 4 yards, and if we can do that, because if it's we pretty much know that if it's going to be, a 4th and 3, 4th and 4, you pretty much 9 times out of 10 we're going to go for it. So we're really playing 4 downs, and so when we throw the ball and nothing's open, and and Tony, you talked about because you coached Ace when he was younger. He's got some wheels, right? If he tucks that ball and gets those 3, 4 yards, 5 yards, and then goes out of bounds or something, so you don't take a pretty hard hit. Man, I think those 5 yards keep it going. So if you got a second and you say you got 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6, and he rolls out and it's not there, and he doesn't lose any yards or lose down, but he picks up 3 yards. Now we've got 3rd and short, and we've got 2 downs to get that. So I like to see Ace kind of tuck it down and run a little bit. I think we're going to need that as we get into this Navasota game, and because I think if we pass and we get nothing out of it, will hurt us. So if we're going 2nd and 10 and we get nothing and we're facing a 3rd and 10, it's going to be very difficult. So I like to see him, tuck that ball down sometimes if it's not there and take off and use some of that speed, and athleticism that he has to gain some yards. Like I said, he doesn't have to hit, 25 yards, but man, if he gets 5, 6 yards instead of that's big for this Rockport offense to keep those drives going. So, it's not always going to be there. I think he's going to be facing some defenses that are going to be a little bit faster and a little bit more experienced than Carrizo Springs. Mentioning coming up to Navasota, this is going to be a better defense than we played Carrizo Springs. So, I like to see some of that. But overall, I thought that offense played really good. Like I said, our run game was on, and it'll need to be on again this week if you want any chance of being Navasota. So, great win for the Pirates. It did awesome, and I look forward. And I'll tell you this, guys, right here, I do give Rockport a pretty good chance to beat Navasota. I've seen them. This offense, if they're on, can score some big points on Navasota. So I look forward to Rockport being able to score on this defense. I think that they can. Hopefully they'll come out and they'll play, one of the best games of the season. Um, Moving over to the defense, Johnny, I'll go to you first. What were your thoughts on the defense that Rockport played on Friday night against Carrizo Springs?
You say Tony or Johnny?
Johnny.
Johnny.
Um, the defense. I mean, they came out pretty hard. I mean, they came out pretty good in the first half. You know, I think they could have done a little better in that second half. That 4 quarters is big. It's that shutout went away. It went away fast. Um, Defensive backs. I mean, I think they covered great. We all remember that four backs jumping up in the air. It happens. Everybody just timed it wrong. I mean, they just out jumped us there. Just a basketball move. That's all it took. Um, but I think what's lacking on our defense is the outside containment, and that's something we were hurting against sitting. Um, our outside containment's not there. We have outside linebackers are trying to go with the play, drag with the play, which some are taught that way to keep that running back just going. But when you face a running back fast like they had that number 22, he's gonna outrun you. I mean, you got a blocker you got a blocker on you. There's no way you're gonna get rid of him and outrun that guy that's running down that sideline. It's good for one thing, it's got good for another thing. But I just don't understand why our outside linebackers had to like scoot down the line, go down the line of scrimmage instead of attacking that running back in the backfield before anything develops, before he even gets outside. I wish we would make that running back make a what we call a banana at the backfield, make him loop back from the back. You know, just make a commotion. I mean, you can't let them have a full speed all the way up to the sideline because that's what they're doing. They're going full speed to the sideline, and you're going side to side to side to side. You're shuffling, you're going full speed. They're running forward, and you just want to make a commotion. You just want to you want to stop him from going full speed. He shouldn't be going beyond that tight end zone. That should be attacked. I mean, it's just outside's hurting us. There's been a few teams of us that the outside's been hurting us. It's just we need a little help on the outside. Um, Basically, that's what I have to say on that.
Tony, are you a little concerned with Rockport's defense?
Well, before I talk about the defense, I didn't want to downplay something on the offense. I talked about Devin, talked about John, but I want to talk about the senior Ryan Wells. He ran hard, and I think he got at least 4 or 5 yards of carry, and he scored a few touchdowns. And I think that he had a great offensive a night. I don't know how many yards he ended up with, but man, he ran the ball hard for Rockport when they needed it. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't downplay that and forget about giving him some love because that boy ran hard. But as far as the defense goes, I think I'm with Johnny. I think that outside containment has been an issue for Rockport. And what I mean by that is, you know, against Navasota, I was looking at the quarterback stats. He has over 1,100 yards passing, but he has almost 600 yards rushing. So that tells me that, he's going to run a lot, and we're going to have to be ready for that. So I think that, if we want to keep him at bay, we got to keep somebody on him, and keeping him home, but also that means that our D backs need to be ready for that pass because he's going to pass the ball. You know what I mean? But those linebackers got to get ready for that run. Somebody's got to be on him every play, every down, and try to keep him home. Because he will run and he will get outside, and he's going to get some yards. So, this if there's ever a game where we got to make sure that we hold that outside, it's this game because this quarterback, like I said, we saw it against Sinton. We saw it even against Carrizo. When they get outside of us, they're going to get 5, 6, 7, 8 yards, and we cannot allow that many yards on the outside. If we want to stay ahead of this game. So I think that defensively, the run defense is pretty good. I would put our run defense against most running teams, but that outside needs to get tougher. We need to get tougher on that outside to keep the yardage shorter and possible tackles for losses. We should. I mean, if they're going outside, we should have more tackles for losses than we do on the season. So we need somebody to go out there, like Johnny said, and just create a commotion, create havoc, make the running back or the quarterback do something they don't want to do. You know what I mean? To create a play for Rockport, possible turnover or something. So I think defensively, I'm not as concerned because the defense has done pretty good, but against those teams that with running quarterbacks, we seem to struggle. So hopefully, the coaches that saw that and adjust to that, and ultimately it's what those boys do on the field. You know what I mean? They're the ones out there playing. So we'll see what happens, but I'm very confident in the defense that they'll do their job.
Well, before I break down the defense, I'll ask both of you this question. So, if you're the Rockport defensive coordinator, are you committed to stop the run or the pass? Tony?
Well, I think that we need to stop the pass because if the quarterback is getting some passes going, if he gets started getting hot on the passes, that's going to open up him running and rolling out and getting some rushing yards. You know what I mean? So we need to shut down the pass because the pass is what he does. According to his stats, the pass is what Navasota needs the quarterback to get hot doing. So we need to shut that pass down because as long as he's passing and completing, that will open him up for those 4, 5, or 6 yard runs on a rollout. So I think defensively, we need to hold down those receivers. He has two receivers, number 2 and number 4, I believe it is that are his favorite targets. So we need to hold them down and make them run more. You know what I mean? If we take them off of their game, I think we're going to be all right.
So, you would set the defense, you set the tone to stop the pass, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Johnny, would you set your defense if you were the Rockport defensive coordinator to stop Navasota's run or the pass?
Now they do have 1,000 yard rusher too. So
Right,
I
that's what I'm
mean,
saying. You got you got to pick your point. You got to see which one. I mean, you got to stop one. You can't let both of them go wild on you because if they're running at will and they're passing, you're gonna lose the game. It's guaranteed. So you've got to commit to stopping one or the other to have a chance. Would you stop the pass or would you stop the run?
I would stop the run if it's a rollout quarterback. Um, Make him decide. Give up the 5 yard out. If you're coming at him with pressure, he ain't gonna be able to throw downfield. So that outside containment is huge. You don't want him to roll out and set up. I mean, outside linebackers need to make a decision. It don't matter which way or the other. I know this last game, there was one that he was in no man's land. He was between the quarterback and the receiver, and he got nothing. The quarterback ended up completing the pass on the sideline. It was just an easy 5-10 yard out. Um, so the outside linebackers got to make a decision. Whether cover that guy or go for the quarterback. It is a hard decision to make, but you don't want that quarterback to roll all the way out and still outrun you and still get you some yards. So I would be more concerned about more of the run um, before he gets set up. Now, if he's a drop back quarterback, yeah, I would concern more about the pass.
yeah. Well, I think we need to keep a linebacker on the quarterback. That's what I think. I think we need to keep somebody mirroring that quarterback so that he doesn't have a chance to run, and we'll make him pass and shut it down. That's what I think. I think somebody needs to be mirroring his moves. So
You know, uh, the Carrizo Spring quarterback is probably nothing to what, no disrespecting him, but he's probably not going to be, listening to Tony and the staff that this quarterback has. It's a very different quarterback that you'll be facing tomorrow night versus the one you faced Friday, right? And we
mm,
saw that this quarterback from Carrizo Springs still got some passes on. Now, when that receiver catches it in front of 4 defenders, that's probably not going to happen again. But he did complete some passes, and he's not anywhere near the quarterback caliber that they'll be facing this week. So, I thought that we should have came with some more blitz, but we
I, I
did.
think I think I think our defense did great. Anytime that quarterback dropped back, he never got really set. I mean, everything was forced. He had people in his face. We saw many ducks he threw because he could never step into the ball, step into the throw. I mean, and and that's why I said I think if a quarterback draws back, I think I'm more confident than a quarterback that rolls out. Because I think there was a couple times where our outside linebackers were lost. They weren't sure what to do. And I think when a quarterback draws back, that's when we have our inside guys just, making commotion back there. Yeah, we got a couple. I think we did get a late hit in there, but they'll learn. They'll know. You know.
Yeah, the pass, the guy from Carrizo Springs just kind of threw it up there, and he still competed some. The run really hurt us, but I thought defensively, we should have done a better job, in my opinion, because this team wasn't really shouldn't have scored 28 points, but it happens, and you get the win, right? But I thought we should have shut them down, and I think they rolled out one time where I thought we had to play to the outside, and he got in. And when he got in, that was one touchdown. And then, of course, the pass. So they scored 14 points when I thought they should. I think they went for it like on a fourth down or something around the corner, and they scored all the way in, which I thought we were right there. We just didn't make the play. So they got 14 points. I really thought the game should have been 38 to 14. So, but stuff like that happens. We've seen this defense before. This is a really good defense. They can play. They've held a really good Flower Blood team to 24 points. So we know that this defense, can come up to the challenge. And sometimes you play a team, you just don't anticipate they'll do much, and they get a couple of touchdowns here. Like I said, they scored 28 points, but I don't think Rockport ever felt like, or at least I never felt like as a fan, that we were in danger of losing that game. They got pretty close, but I never felt like we were going to lose it. This is a whole different team. So I thought the defense played, like Johnny said, well against Carrizo Springs, but we gave up some plays I think we shouldn't have. But going into this week, guys, this is a whole different beast. This is going to come with backs and a quarterback that can run and throw. And you said they got a 1,000-yard rusher. So this is very different for the defense. Now Rockport usually stands up to the challenge pretty much when they play. So we're just going to have to play very sound football. I think for Rockport to win this game, I think the offense will score points. I've seen the Navasota defense, they give up points. They gave up a lot of points to Gonzalez, even though Navasota won. Gonzalez got some points on him. And pretty much with the exception of maybe two teams this season, teams scored 20s, 30s on that defense. So I don't know much about those, but that defense has been scored on. So Rockport's offense can come in and score some points. It'll be up to that defense. How well we play will determine whether we can, advance to the third round, which I think we can. I look forward to this defense to play better, but it is going to be a tough task. If it were me, I'd stop the run. When we played Wimberley, we were able to stop that run. They got some passes on us, if you remember last year, some long passes on us, but our offense kept us in there. They really didn't get a run game going, and we were able to shut that quarterback down last year. You didn't get some big scores. And they got a few runs on us, but nothing that hurt us. And the passing, they scored a couple of passes. They scored some, some bombs on us, but we hung in there. I think we need to play Navasota the way we played Wimberley. We're going to give up some big plays. Ain't no doubt about it. But if we stop that run and we're committed to stopping that run, that gives us a chance because our offense, I think, can score. So I would be committed to stopping that run and then make the adjustments on the pass as they go. But I would be committed to stop that run because I think once you get that run going, it's going to be really hard. If we can't stop that run and they get that run going, it's going to open up that pass. We're going to be focused on that run. So I think we need to stop the run, and I think that'll give us a chance to come out. It's going to be a tough win if we win for Rockport, but I think we can do it. And I look forward to beating Navasota because I think we're good enough, even though we're young, and going into that third round and either playing Navarro or Wimberley. Listen, guys, the ticket out of the region isn't that hard like it has been in the past. Wimberley's beatable. Navarro's beatable. Cuero almost beat Navarro. So if you beat Navasota, you're gonna run into what, Navarro or Wimberley. You beat them, and then you're probably gonna end up playing Navarro or Wimberley, or you're gonna play Sitten. So if you're Rockport, you're looking at this and you're saying, hey, I can get out of the region. Because in the past couple of years, this is the easiest I think it's been. Or is that just me? Because 2 years ago when they had Cuero, you weren't beating Cuero. Cuero was going to get out of the region. And then you have Navarro was tough. Wimberley was tough last year. They're still good. They're beatable. So if you make it to the region and Sid makes it to the region, Rockport can beat Sid. They didn't do a good job the first time, but I'm convinced that they can beat them. So there is a pathway to get out of the region for Rockport if they can get past Navasota, because I think this will be the toughest team that they'll face. Wimberley and Navarro have experience, but we can hang with those, I think. So we're just going to have to play really good defense, and I think our offense is going to score. We don't turn the ball over. We don't get penalties. We put ourselves in a very good situation to win this game. Let's talk a little bit about the special teams. Now I'll go to Johnny first. Johnny, talk a little bit about the special teams. Any concerns that you saw? Anything good that they did?
I'm loving our freshman kicker, man. I don't think he's missed an extra point all season. That's just great. I mean, he's having a field day out there. I mean, he's having fun. He's even making big tackles on the kickoffs, man. That was great. I mean, I'll never forget that. That was perfect form tackle. Sad that he had to make the tackle at 50-yard line, pretty much. I don't know where exactly, but it was pretty much midfield when your kicker has to make that. But that got everybody pumped. I mean, that was the best form tackle I ever seen. Face mask in the chest and everything. Right through and nail him on the ground. That was a great tackle on that. Like I say, his field goals are great. I don't remember any punts that we had. Any of that? We had a quick punt. I know we had a quick punt with Ace, which was a good one. I think it nailed it down inside their 2-yard line, 1-yard line, something like that. Which I was hoping for a safety after that. I'm concerned about our kickoff team. I'm really, really concerned about our kickoff team. I'm not a great fan of once you get in the playoffs. I mean, yes, it's great to bring up JVs and stuff like that, but I'm not a great fan of bringing them to a special teams only, switching out your varsity starting squad for JV special teams. I think there was 4 or 5 players on that kickoff team. It's not the same. You're facing bigger guys out there to get around. You're obviously there's not another 22 on the JV level playing like that with that speed. So it's not, you're asking too much for that. You're asking way too much. If there's a number 22 like that on a JV squad, I mean, that school must be great, who's that starting guy on the varsity squad for that school. So that was a lot of speed for these kids to catch up with. And just go back out there, man. I've always been a big deal about your kickoff team should be your first team defense. They're the ones that are out there making the tackle. They're the ones out there. They're already going to be out there on the field after the play's done. I mean, I'm big on that. Huge on your best guys on the block, your linebackers that can tackle, your corners that have the speed that should tackle, and your safeties that should cover whole field already. They're already running down the whole field. So these guys should be the ones out there as your starting defense, even the D line, I wouldn't, maybe not all of them, but some of them, but you need your linebackers, outside linebackers, corners, and your safeties on that special team, your starters, not just somebody you want to throw out there just to give your defense a breather. We saw how many times they brought it to midfield pretty much, what it set up, how many times they almost broke it. Special teams is big in any game. Special teams are huge, and I've always said that defense and special teams win ball games. That's what set them up. It wasn't really like they drove on us the whole night. Their special teams what set up their offense. You return it 40, 50 all the way to the 40 or 50. You don't got much to drive. So that's my concern on special teams as far as that goes.
Hey, Tony, I think Johnny hits a good point. It did set up many a times. It set up a really good field position for Carrizo Springs. Ordinarily, you don't see Rockport. Usually, throughout the season, that special teams has been very good. And for some reason, these guys were able to get to the 40, maybe sometimes to midfield, across midfield, to start their offenses, which I think helped them out a lot. Your thoughts on the special teams and the way Rockport special teams performed Friday against Carrizo Springs?
Yeah, I think Johnny, said it all. It should be the best person for the job out there. And I don't know if that was the case or if that wasn't. I'm sure it was. I'm sure the coaches put who they need to put out there, and I understand some of them boys need a breather because some I did see a few of them playing both ways and special teams, and I understand all those things. But you know, right after halftime or in the beginning of the game, we need to have those guys in there because there was that one where the kicker made that tackle, which was a great tackle. If he doesn't make that tackle, they're a touchdown closer. You know what I mean in this game. You know, so that was pretty scary. Uh, punt, PAT, all looks great. We even had a field goal. I don't know, 30-yard field goal or whatever it was. That's something that Rockport's not used to doing, and I think getting those 3 points when you don't have no other choice. I think it's great to have the confidence to be able to say field goal and know you're probably going to make it because that freshman is doing such a great job, and I haven't seen that in a while for Rockport as far as the kicker is concerned. But yeah, I think on the kickoff, I think the game's the margin's a lot bigger if we're not giving up that many yards on the kickoff. And it really did set Carrizo up and made the defense really work to make those stops. And good thing the defense did a great job and was able to create some turnover on downs and stuff like that because starting off every possession at close to midfield or at midfield, that's just tough to make the defense go out there and do. But I think that uh, you fix that, and I think all around the special teams will be pretty solid. I mean, the special teams has been solid all season. That's the first game that I've seen them struggle on the kickoff. And Johnny said he saw 4 or 5 freshmen or JV or whatever out there. I don't know exactly how many, but I did notice there was at least a couple. So, we'll see what happens. Rockport's just not gonna be able to allow that to happen this game. I mean, the later rounds get tougher, and you need to give your defense a chance. And a better chance. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, first of all, guys, before I talk about special teams, give Carrizo Springs some credit, man. These guys came to play. They came
Yeah,
to play. The fans were loud. I mean, I could hear the fans yelling to where I was sitting. I could actually hear what was coming out of their mouth clearly. So their fans were rowdy. Carrizo Springs came to play. They wanted to win, and they put it all out there, man. So, they didn't just lay down and say, "Hey, Rockport's going to come in and beat us." They played, and they played to the end. And they were calling their timeouts, and they were trying to win this game. They made it very interesting. So, hats off to Carrizo Springs, man, because they
yeah,
came to play. Maybe Rockport didn't think that they would come out to play. Maybe we thought it was going to be an easy game. Don't know. But they came out to play. So, congratulations to the Carrizo Springs, man, on a great season. I think they'll be back next year. Don't know how many guys they got coming back, but they definitely came to play to try to win the game on Friday. Now, getting back to the special teams, for Rockport, um, we're going to have to find out this freshman's name. I don't have the name. I guess you guys don't either because we're calling him the freshman kicker, but we're going to
I know the name, but I forgot now.
Cristobal,
Cristobal.
Cristobal. Okay,
Cristobal.
Cristobal. Listen, it's great if we can if he's going to be around for another 3 years. It's going to really help Rockport. I think if you're Coach Seibert, it's great to know that you got a guy that you can really depend on. I've seen him kick, I think, a 30, 35 yarder and make it in the season. So he's got a leg on him. So in a very close game, you got to make a decision to go for it, or you're within range, and this guy can win the game for you at the last couple of seconds in the game. It's good to know that you've got a kicker like this that can make it for you. Whether he makes it or not, you've got somebody in your back pocket that's capable of winning the game for you. So props to him. He's been solid all year. I mean, he's been good all year long. This guy has kicked. And I mean, and he kicks good. And when he's called upon, he's ready. It seems like so. It's great for Rockport to have him out there. No, we don't talk much about him throughout the season, but this guy's been huge for us and the things that he's done. And he's made some tackles in this Carrizo Springs. It was tough when he was only a freshman, but he's tackling these big boys. He's bringing them down. He's getting in there. So he's done a lot. So props to him. Like Crystal Ball, you said, man, he's been lights out for us this season. So I just kind of wanted to send a shout out to him. Um, I like this punting situation where they put Ace out there, and he can punt it away. I think that gives us an advantage to have a quarterback slash punter that can get it out there because I think the defense isn't going to know. We've never had that before. We've had our punter go out there the last couple of years, and if the punter's going out there, we're going to punt. I think it gives Coach Seibert an opportunity to fake a punt if he has to. It gives them options. We have options with Ace being out there or punting that ball because if they see Ace out there, they're probably not going to put anybody back there. They're going to play defense, not knowing what's going on. And then Ace kicks it away. Like you said, we got it down to the 2-3 yard line. That's huge for us. They've got to go the distance. So I think, having that also as an option would be big for us, especially in these games, these playoff games. You never know what situation is going to occur. So it's good to have that. I was a little concerned. I saw Carrizo Springs, like I said, getting to the 40, 45, sometime crossing. I don't know what's going on. And maybe we got some younger guys there. I know Ryan Wells is playing a lot. He's playing offense and defense. I saw Philip Cooper out there. So you got some guys that are going both ways. So might be a way to give these guys a rest. And you may just have to do that. That may be an option that you just have to do to get these guys some rest. But it's the first time that we actually saw them give up that many yards on a kickoff. Usually we're pretty steady. We don't give up big plays, one every now and then, but our special teams have been solid all year. So if we can't control it against Navasota, may be a problem. You don't want these guys to start up on this side of the field with that explosive offense that they have. We'll see what kind of adjustments Coach Seibert and his coaches have made to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm sure they saw it like we saw it. I'm sure this week they worked on it. And they'll make the corrections. I don't think you'll see too much of that in this game against Navasota. But we've been good. We've been solid, and it's great to have this kicker. Because we're going to need him at some point, man. Even if it's to win a game or keep us close into a game, it's good to have him out there. So I'm excited about him. Possibly being out there for another 3 years. It's going to be exciting. I think he's going to win some game for us if he continues to play through his senior year. He'll win some games for Rockport, I guarantee. So it was great. But I think the special teams guys, it's going to play big in this game against Navasota. And we're going to have to play better than we did against Carrizo Springs to try to get the win and move on to the third round. I didn't see a lot of penalties. I don't know if you guys saw anything you want to discuss that maybe I missed. If not, we'll end it with the final thought. Kind of just sum up the Carrizo Springs game and then just give your thoughts on, the Navasota game coming up tomorrow. So, Johnny, I'll start with you. Final thoughts.
I think I had everything to say about the Carrizo game. My main concern was the kickoff and the outside containment. Um, Going into this next round, I'm feeling very confident. I'm very, very, very confident. Um, I don't think they have the defense that we have. Um, we're good defense. We're all around good defense. Once we're all played together as one, um, they're not such a great rush defense, and that's what gets me excited. They're giving up 218 yards a game on the ground. Um, Twice they've given up 300 yards, one for 328 and one for 396 on the ground. So I'm a little excited about that. I'm very excited about that. That just tells me that they can't stop the run, and that's our bread and butter. And man, I'm very excited about what we can do against that.
Absolutely, Johnny. I agree with you 100%. That's why I said I've seen them give up. I've seen Gonzalez score some points on them. I've seen, about 4 or 5 teams score in that, high 20s, 30s on this team. So that our offense is very capable of having a big night. It'll just come down to just how well our defense can hold that offense because that offense is good as well. Tony, your final thoughts?
You're mute, dude. You're mute.
Sorry about that. No, I'm with Johnny on that. I'm very confident in the Pirates in this game. I think Navasota, being the number one seed from their very tough district, but giving up the points they're giving up and the yards they're giving up, I think Rockport has a really, really good chance. But we're gonna have to tighten up those screws on special teams, on that kickoff. We're gonna have to tighten up the screws on that outside containment because it's gonna be all the little things that are gonna make a big difference in these games as we get further in. Penalties, mental mistakes. It's all the little things. Who can perfect the game plan? I know I said that before too. Who can go out there and perfect their game plan and execute on the field? The coaches come up with their plan, and ultimately the boys got to go out there and execute. The coaches can't make the tackles for them. The coaches can't make those touchdowns for them. And those boys are gonna have to dig deep. And leave it all out there. Because for some of these seniors, well, for all of the seniors, I mean, this could be the last game. So, you just want to remember, like I said, Johnny and I, if you remember your last game, I mean, it's something you're always going to remember. So, if you don't want it to be, you got to go out there and just show out, give it everything you got and fight for one another on the field. I mean, you know, just thinking about going up and playing these bigger teams and with large players. I've seen our offensive line play against some big old boys and do a freaking phenomenal job. It's who got the most heart. Who wants it more. I truly believe size doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's who has the biggest heart. And I know those boys on the offensive line got big hearts. I know those guys running the ball got big hearts. And those boys on defense have big hearts. So it's going to be who wants it more that day. No matter who's on the field. It's 11 on 11, and I think that's fair. And whoever wants it more will take it. And I feel confident that the Pirates are going to go out there and take it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, guys. Listen, I also want to give out, I want to talk about this play, man, because I've never seen a play like I saw against Carrizo Springs. So number 65, right? Quintus, I think's his name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know where
Man,
you're going with this.
the guy, Lee, Tony, I don't know if you saw it, man. That guy was from Carrizo Springs. He was about 2 yards, 3 yards from getting in the end zone. And this young man just reached out with his arm, grabbed that jersey, and he's running full speed. And just when he grabs the jersey, just pulled his arm back and just brought him back like a dad does a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
I never, did you see that, Tony?
Nah, I missed that. I remember you talking
Johnny, did
about
you
it
see
though.
it?
I saw it.
Man, it was like, man, I wish I could have just videotaped that. It was awesome to see. I'd never seen in football a line, just anybody. He just reached out, grabbed the jersey, and we're talking about this guy's running in full stride, and just he grabs the jersey when he pulls his arm back. That he just brought that whole running that guy just brought him back. I don't know if they scored. I've never seen nothing like this. That just kind of shows the power that this young man has.
Yeah.
Number 65, I think his name was last name was
Josue.
Quinton. So, yeah,
Yeah,
so
Josue.
just a great play. But I'm going to tell you, as much as we talk about that defense, Peyton plays lights out every game. I mean, that you can't say much. This kid plays with heart. The whole defense does. But he gets double teamed a lot, sometimes triple teamed. He plays hard every down. I don't think he takes a down off. He's just in there. If you don't get the tackle, he's trying to disrupt the play. It's great to have a guy like that on your defense that just plays hard every day. All the guys play hard, but I just watch him. I watched this kid play when he was little. I mean, he was like 4 years old, I think, playing with guys that were. He should have been playing, I think, flag, and his dad was already putting them up with the big boys, 3 grades higher than him. And they were popping him when he was little, man. I'm telling you, and his dad said, "You pop him. He's up here to play." And no one's trying to hurt him, but he was taking some hits. I remember taking them hits, man. I guess they all helped out because look at him now. But I just want to send a shout out to that defense. Peyton plays hard every day. That defensive line, we don't give them a lot of credit, man. They play hard. They're back there. I love to watch Krupa out there as well. He's playing offense and defense. Now you got Ryan Wells playing on the defense. I never realized. I knew Ryan Wells was fast, but when they're going to punt the ball, And you watch him take off in the line and get back there, man, he's got some speed. And those linebackers are playing great. Um, um, George plays great out there, number 2, safety spot. You're right. These guys play good. And we're very capable of putting a big game. Like you said, it's we got to play smart. We got to be focused. But as quick as we give up the play, I think this is the first time I've seen that defense throughout the season get turnovers. I don't see Rockport getting a lot of turnovers in the past years. We got a couple here and there. It seems like we get a turnover, whether it be a fumble or an interception, just about every game. I don't know how many turnovers we've had on that defense throughout this season so far, but it's been quite a few. And that's the credit to this defense hustling and playing tough, stripping the ball, intercepting the ball. I mean, we played some really good offenses. So this defense is really good. Sometimes when we critique it, it's not because we think the players aren't playing tough. They're great. We just critique it as we see it as fans. But we also got to give the props when they're there. And these guys, they don't give up. They don't break. They got. I see that coach on them, whether we're winning, man. They're on them 4 quarters. They're yelling at them. They're giving them props when they do good. But they're always on them. They're not letting them take a break off. So I think it's a leadership that they have from the coaches. So this will be the toughest test so far to move to the third round. This team will be good. This defense will have to play good for 4 quarters, and I think that they will. Hey, guys, I would say this. If any of the guys watch this one when this is over and we put it into our, we upload this video to our YouTube and our Facebook channels. But if anybody watches it, I'll say this. They're going to score points. When you give up a touchdown, a long one, they score. Keep your head up. This is 4 quarters, is what I would tell you. You're not going to come in here and shut them down. If you can, that's great. But if they score a big play, hey, man, no problem. You get back on defense and you play again. Don't put your head down when you miss a tackle. Don't put your head down when you score. As they're going to score, you're going to score. Just remember this: you got to play 4 quarters, and we do this 4 quarters every time, right? It's until it ends. So no matter what happens, keep your head up, keep playing hard, and at the end, I guarantee if you play hard, you'll give yourself a chance to be there in the end and pull out a victory. So just wanted to let the guys know: don't worry about a play, don't worry about a mistake that you make. It's football. You come back on the field and you make it up on the next play. So, guys, it was great breaking down this game. I, like you guys, believe that we got a very good chance to win this game and advance. And I'm looking forward to Rockport advancing to the third round as we've been in the last 2 years. I think it's been the last 2 years, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
want to say this, Tony and Johnny. Tony, you probably know this better. A lot of these guys have been to the third round. I mean, you take the John Chuppies and the Peyton McAllisters and some of these guys that have been there. As freshmen, um, they didn't play very much, but they were in that preparation. They got to the third round. And last year, they were a big part. They got into the third round. So these guys have been in the second and third round. These juniors, so they know what it's like and they know what it takes. So we might be young, but we're not coming out with inexperience. There's leaders there that have tasted the third round the last 2 years, so they know what it's like. I expect them to come out and get there again, and this time advance and get the regionals. So we'll see what happens. But I do want to say good luck to Coach Seibert and all of his coaching staff and the players. We got the community backing you up. We hope that we'll get the win tomorrow and advance to the third round. But either way, it's been a great season for these boys. So until then, peace out, guys. And we'll see you tomorrow night. You guys be careful on the road.
You too.